wonder whether you think that there are new ways of thinking, new technical solutions that might just entice the private sector in, cut through these age-old problems.
If I may, since Bertrand took the lead and called a spade, right, that it is way deeper than the surface. I think the challenge, if we think about the basic issues in some of the more fragile countries, is around business models. You seem to think that technology is going to solve the access of a small villager or a peri-urban slum to modern energy. There's solar panels. We know how to put those up. We know how to make those work in certain markets. How do you make that work in a country where there are no land rights in peri-urban slums? How do you make that work when the people in a village 400 kilometers from the capital don't have access to good roads? Who's going to go and collect? So technology, I think, is a large part of the solution. But as we get into adaptation in particular, what is the business model for protecting mangroves? What's the business model for protecting coral reefs? Right? What's a business model for relocating people? So I think that we overstate the need for technology transfer. It is certainly part of the solution, just like finance is a huge part of it.
But it's not a silver bullet.
It's not the silver bullet because, again, I don't want to use the projects, but the business models, and in many cases, bankable projects, bankable from a commercial perspective, but even from a public finance perspective. How long does it take to develop a resilient port project in Barbados? So how long does it take to develop a resilient agricultural project in Sierra Leone? These things take time, and yet the private capital that needs to come to the table is not that patient. So the question is, how do we mobilize, as far as I'm concerned, domestic investors who will be there for the long term, who know the markets and who have access to local currency, and then help them prove to external investors that they can come in, help them be part of the solution. So that's not a silver bullet, but the answer is also not just we have technology, who's going to buy it? There's a real risk that we then start to push that technology into markets that serve the companies that are pushing them rather than solve the problem for those at the end of the line.
Sure. Does that model work for you? It works for the audience.